Hi guys, I'm an organizational psychologist and I help companies design modern workplaces so you can get a better work experience and then they can stop complaining and moaning about employee retention rate and engagement data. So I wanted to talk about authenticity, because the moment you show up as an employee, your authentic self, they send you to HR so you can be signed up for a training, how to get along with others, or they get you disciplinary. And that's the honest truth in organization. And the reason for that is because nobody understands. And that's why I don't like when HR starts designing employee experience, because they haven't studied psychology. Human psychology is a base for all human understanding, all human behavior, but we try. And still, we are way off sometimes the mark, because human beings are just extremely complex. But there are a few things that we know. And this is what we know about authenticity. Authenticity is not what the corporations sold us. They send you, they talk about, oh, come as you are, be who you are, be you. They send you for authentic leadership training. Yet, the moment you show up, that's a problem. Now you are a problem, because you ask questions, you think differently, you feel differently, your opinion is different, and you do things differently, not like everybody else. And this is a problem. The number one enemy in organizations is the authentic you. And they do everything so you are not yourself. Now, why is that a problem? It's not actually a problem. What is the problem? Is that we don't understand what authenticity is, because they sold you the idea that authenticity is that we are vulnerable, so then we can all cry together in organizations. That's not what is it about. It's part of it. It's a human experience. We experience all sorts of feelings and emotions, and breaking down or being vulnerable is just one part of it, and that's okay. But authenticity is being you. And when you are you are going to divide people. You are going to divide opinion. You are going to have people who love you and hate you. And those people who just like you, because organizations want you to be likable, they make us all to be likable so you get along with everyone. So those who just like you, they like you because of the fake interactions that you have with them. Okay, so these are the three different areas that you need to differentiate. Those who love you, those who hate you because of who you are, and then you will have the group of people who may be neutral to you, towards you, or like you because you are just fake and you're going through the notion of corporate behavior. And that's not a healthy environment for everybody. But what the problem is that employers and leaders and managers, they don't understand, and HR obviously, who they always come up with these things, right? That they don't understand what authenticity is and what it brings with itself. When I'm myself, I'm going to have different opinion. I'm going to do things differently. I'm going to think and feel and believe and, say that this is the right thing or the wrong thing to do because of my core, based on my core values, my principles, everything that is about me or my experiences, right? And they don't like that. They want you to jump on the bandwagon and sing the same song as they do. And conformity is constant push between pull and push, conformity and authenticity. And you try to push, this is who I am, and they push back very quickly with policies, with procedures, with competency frameworks, behavioral competencies. No, this is how you need to be. And this is where we all struggle. And sometimes this is like, it's a pressure because your identity is being suppressed. So this is when you see the people, sometimes they break. And there is a shouting match, there is an outburst, there is an out of character kind of behavior. And I love those, because then this is when you need to start paying attention to your people, because they are trying to tell you something that, hey, something is off, is not going great. And so those that tries to come out and break out sometimes, but it's just, they push you back immediately. And this is wrong. What we should do instead, or we have to do instead, is teach authenticity, teach authentic leadership, and, not just leaders, so everybody, every employees, but also teach them about how it looks like. It looks like that you will have people who are not your buddies, that they are not your people. And you will have people who love you, who hate you, and we need to be okay with it. And differences here, when you're not getting along within the context of workplace, it means that you have different opinion, you different perspective, different view, and you do things differently, and we need to be okay with it. Okay, now why is that a problem when they want to take this away from us and say you need to get along with everyone, you cannot have those, you pretend. And I've been told in my life you need to pretend. So I did pretend, and it was okay, and then nothing really happened, because this is how we create vanilla people and procedures and everything. These misalignments and alignments, so the alignment is when I click with someone, we love each other, or they love me because of what I say or what I stand for or how I come across, it doesn't really matter. And those who will hate me because of the exact same reasons, those are our social compass. So these are signs that, hey, those people who love me, those are my people, those are my tribe, and those who not, you don't need to, you're just not on the same level in terms of principles, so you're not going to work together very well. And these are our social compass that tells us who we should join forces and tackle lives and works challenges. And when it's taken away from us, because now we need to get along with everyone, we go back and we're not going to join forces with anyone, and we are not going to tackle any kind of problem and challenges. And we sit back and we just pass, looking at the organizations to pass by policies and procedures and days and months and years, and we're not doing anything, because a very innate and natural process has been taken away from us, which would allow us to choose and select our people who we can go into war with, who we can solve problems, who we can collaborate, who we can be friends with, who we can, fight and argue, but with a positive outcome. Because those people who we love or who we hate and they hate us back, we're going to argue and fight, but with a negative outcome or no outcome. So leaders and managers and HR, don't suppress authenticity. Don't jump very quickly to the conclusion, oh, people can't get along and now we need to organize team building exercise. We don't need team building exercise, and your people don't need to be sent for training on how to manage conflict or speak to others. What we actually need is for leaders and HR and managers to understand this is a normal human behavior, okay? And what does it tell us? So if these two people can't get along, really cannot get along, then it's a sign for me they are misaligned and I need to restructure my team. I need to reorganize. And sometimes it's not possible to move them around, but what it's possible, and it helps immensely. So try that you have a conversation with those two people. And most of the times it works, because then just by being able to express that, we don't like each other, or we don't click rather than don't like each other, we think differently, we feel differently, we don't have we just don't see eye to eye, and that's okay. And when people are free to express that, immediately that tension just dissipates and you can see it. And all of a sudden, they can coexist and the arguments and the fights actually disappear. So it's a helpful tool, but you need to understand what is natural behavior. Now, if somebody cannot get along and it just compromises the work environment and everybody and the work itself, then you need to intervene. But I would urge you to do that very quick and jump into, arguments or separate people, because most of the time people will be able to sort out their problems. But many times managers and leaders in HR, they are very quick to jump in and say, you know what, I'm going to discipline you. This is not what the competency framework says. This is not what our disciplinary charter says. And that's it. You break down the conflict resolution, because sometimes the process of solving a conflict between two people starts with an argument, and then they can find the common ground. And when we take this away from employees, this is the worst thing that we can do to them. So authenticity comes with a mess, because human beings are messy and very complex. And if you advocate for authenticity, you must be also ready to receive what it comes with or what it brings with itself. But we are not. We just want people to be vulnerable, because this is what we were led to believe that's authenticity. That's not. Authenticity is you come, and obviously there are parameters within organizations how we all should behave. But you know what? There are no parameters for human beings. We experience a wide range of emotions and feelings and thoughts and, beliefs and principles. And I don't think there is such an organization, a policy or structure that could put a framework around it. So don't do that to employees. You guys, be yourself, because that's the most beautiful, and be okay with it that you will be messy, because human beings are messy.